Hello.
Hey Monique, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Let me let Rob in here. Mhm. Awesome. Hey Rob.
Hey buddy, how you doing?
Good, long time no see. Awesome, guys. So Angie is also joining us, I believe, today. So we'll just give her just a minute here to log in. And I'm actually going to share my screen with our little presentation for today here. And cool. So how's everyone doing? How's this week treating you guys?
So far, so good.
Good. Has the
Yeah,
weather
all good, brother. Absolutely. As you know, we just had a session right before this, so all good.
awesome, Rob? Nice, guys. Has the weather changed for you guys this week? It was drastically different for us yesterday and today.
Yeah, it's already 80 degrees outside right now.
Nice, Monique.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you guys still have snow?
No. So we're in the 70s right now as
Nice.
well. So we
Nice.
finally made it to spring here.
Yeah, finally.
Well, I'm in Canada, so the mountains we have tons. We just got like unloaded on at the mountains right around Banff, but
Oh,
Calgary's
wow.
yeah, a little bit in my backyard. So.
Yeah, so your spring probably won't start till like July.
No, but I'm leaving to Maui tomorrow, so my spring starts right
Nice.
now.
Yes, that's going to be awesome, Rob. I'm super excited for you, man.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Angie, welcome.
Hi, how you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Excellent. So guys, I think this is our group for today at least. Yeah,
Awesome.
this is great. So let's get started if that's cool with you guys.
Totally.
Take this
Good.
into slideshow mode. Beautiful. So you guys, as you know, we're focusing in on losing 10 pounds or making 10K in 10 weeks. However, the numbers can be whatever you want, quite honestly. I just kind of picked that just because it honestly matched. But when we unlock the mindset that we're going to unlock throughout this program, it can allow you to do pretty much anything you want to. So I want that to be very clear for you guys. And as we go about this presentation, I'm going to be pausing to just check in with you guys, ask some questions, make sure everyone's on the same page and that type of thing. So just so you know, kind of like the logistics of what this looks like.
Okay.
All right. And so let's jump right in, you guys. Okay. So right now, we want to just basically see what is creating the results we currently have in our life. And there's mainly 4 things that we're going to talk about right away that are actually setting your thermostat and creating the results in your life around your weight and around your money. All right. The first one is our mindset, which is basically a set of our thoughts, beliefs, and ideas. And truly, it's what we think about money or weight or food, like health in general. We're going to uncover this like never before in our group here. It's going to be awesome. I'm super excited, actually. If you guys have any questions, by the way, you can just ask away as we're going or raise your hand in the little side window there. And I could just pause as well. So know that as well. But basically, number 2 is our feeling, how we feel about money and about our weight and ourself in general. We're going to really get deep into this, is one of the biggest factors. And when you uncover this for yourself, you're going to learn a lot about why you have the result that you have. And again, with the thoughts as well, we're going to start uncovering and dissecting like never before. The third one is our words. Our words are basically our thoughts and feelings articulated. So what we're saying, whether it's out loud or to ourselves or self-dialogue, is basically the story that we're telling ourselves about it. And man, when you discover this, I'm going to be sharing lots about like my own discoveries, and it's really, really powerful. But when you discover your own words and self-dialogue around these areas of your life, by the way, this will apply to any other area, but we're kind of just honing in on just these two main areas during this program. But no, this is how you actually change any area of your life, quite honestly, is discovering first your thoughts, your feelings, and then your words. And then those all combined lead to the actions that you're taking. And truly, knowledge without implementation is pretty much useless. So you can know all this stuff, but not put it into action, and it won't really get you anywhere. And Rob, I know like your connection is crazy, so you didn't really miss much. And I'll just mention this for you because this actually is super important. Is, you know, knowledge, we want to turn our knowledge into implementation. And that's essentially what we're going to do together, you guys, like literally all together throughout the next 10 weeks. So I hope that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Excellent, guys. Cool. All right. So quickly, right? It's our thoughts, it's our feelings, it's our words, right? And then it's our actions are creating our results when it comes to money and when it comes to the weight we want to lose or strength we want to gain, whatever. We can apply this in lots of different ways, actually. But I want to bring you guys here really quick because this is actually the very first step. Okay. In the presentation, you guys might remember, you know, there's no knight in shining armor coming to save us, right? There's no magical money fairy that's just going to just give us money. Although eventually when you learn how to attract money, that could actually feel like that eventually, but there really is no magic, you know, pill or anything that's going to solve our problems or our, you know, change our results. It's really truly up to ourselves. And when we take full responsibility, that's when the game changes for you in so many ways, actually. Okay, so what we want to do is take any one of these or all of them, quite honestly, and use them as affirmations coming into this week. And literally, this is going to be kind of part of our homework, is we're just going to say these to ourselves throughout the week. And in addition to some other things that we're going to talk about, but truly, you want to understand that you can do anything. You want to be your own hero. You want to take responsibility for yourself and your own life and results. You can be truly anything. And I'm a winner. I was born to win. We all were born to win, actually, guys. It's just we're never taught that. Like some people try to teach it, but it's not even in schools. Like it's just schools, just like knowledge. It's not really teaching you about yourself. And you truly are limitless. So that's what we're going to be unlocking over the next 10 weeks here, like never before. So I want to ask you, I'm going to pause here really quick. Do you think you can make a new powerful decision and commitment that you can take your money game and your weight loss game to a new level? And whatever you want, quite honestly, you could do one or the other or both. But can you make that decision that we're going to do this together, like over the next 10 weeks? How does that sound?
Yes, I can do that.
Yes, awesome. Excellent. Rob, how about you, man?
Oh yeah, buddy. I'm in. You know that. All in.
Awesome. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. This is going to be great. I'm super excited. So truly, with that understanding, I want to bring you guys to another kind of level of understanding just in general. And this is going to help serve you in so many ways, especially around money and especially around weight. Everything is an energy exchange. Guys, you and I'm sending energy right now your way, you're receiving it, and vice versa. Okay. Literally everything we do is just an exchange of energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed. It just transforms. So the idea is if our neurons are currently transmitting certain energy, and we are communicating that or showing up with that level of energy, that we could change at any given moment in time, actually, to have a new exchange of energy. When it comes to physical body, it's food and it's our activity levels. That's why I rolled these two together, because they're so similar, actually. With money, it's just spending and saving. It's very, 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 very similar. And you'll be able to apply these to in the same way, which is what's going to be so cool. But literally everything you do is just an exchange of energy. So every conversation you have with somebody, it's an exchange of energy. That energy, though, is coming from your thoughts, feelings, and words and actions. So it's very important, in other words, to figure out what are we thinking and how are we feeling about whatever it is, right? And in this case, around money and around our weight. It's so important. So we're going to dissect this like never before, okay? We truly need to take kind of in week 1 here, we need to figure out where we're starting from. And maybe you've done this innately throughout your life, is thought about, the amount of money you can make and how much weight you can lose and that type of thing. But we're going to do this like never before. So we want to start here in what is my current money story and health weight loss story. Okay. And I'm going to guide you guys through this, but how do I feel about it? How do I feel about money? Do I get jealous if other people have money? Like we want to discover what's going on inside of our being, because that will tell us what the energy we're sending out in regards to it. And if you guys, all of you guys have actually trained with some of these basic understandings of energy, but what you put out is what you receive. And it's 100% of the time, and it is always the case. So what we want to just do is clean up what we're sending out so that we can receive what it is that we desire. Okay, so are you guys, does that make sense so far? I just want to do a quick check-in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. And again, please let me know if I lose you guys at any given moment in time here. So what we want to discover is, what is my current story? Okay, truly, when you think about money, what comes to mind? And honestly, I would love to get some of your feedback on this, of what comes up for you actually. Like, is money hard to make? Is it hard to get? Have you never had enough of it? Or, am I poor? And I'm going to share lots about my own, situation as well. But what comes to mind immediately when you think of the word money? Would you guys be open to share what comes to mind for you?
Yeah, I think for me, like bills, when
Yeah.
I think of money, I think of bills and all the things I have to do like around my house. And it's like kind of a constant list of, never ending house repairs. Like that's where money goes for me.
Yes, totally, Ange. Yes. I'm going to take notes based off what you guys are sharing, by the way, 'cause this is gold. Like this is going to help you in so many ways. So yeah. Anyone else want to share their idea of money? It's okay.
Yeah, I think of the word restraint. Like that's the first thing I think of is a restraint.
Okay. Yeah, perfect, Monique. Yes. Yep.
Well, and for me, I'd say money would be access. Like it's like the entrance point to anything. It's like Angela said with the bills and all that, but it's also goes wider to like if you want to go do anything or have anything, it's just basically the pathway through.
Totally, Rob. Awesome. Yeah, you guys, this is perfect, right? Literally, it's related to bills, right? You got to repair the house, wherever the money's going towards, right? It's restraint, right? Like it's kind of limited, right? And then it gives you access. Like it means different things to different people. And the idea of it means different things to different people. And truly, everyone has their own money story, right? So I want to bring you guys back, though, to really, truly dissect this for yourself like never before. And it always, always starts when you're a kid. So the money that you had as a child and that your parents had is usually where your money story starts to get written. If you see your parents fighting because they don't have enough money, or if you see that money is the cause of some type of stress in their life and you're witnessing that, now that's an innate pain that's being installed inside of your mind. So you're having thoughts like, hey, money, it sucks, like it's causing problems for my family, right? And so some people, a lot of people actually have that when they first start off. And or if there's not enough, we'll say your parents will say things like money doesn't grow on trees, you know, that type of thing. And that's actually where I kind of started from, right? And Angie, by the way, guys, Angie is my sister.
Hi, guys.
So we're probably going to have a very similar money story when we started off, right? So, you know, our dad worked as a kind of a blue collar guy, right? Worked in a factory for 20 years of his life, right? And, you know, made money, but not a whole lot of it. So we had some things, but not a whole lot of them. We lived in a very average home and that type of thing. And just to paint the picture, our dad used to fix the rust on his van to just keep it going with, like, you know, the putty that you use, like the fiberglass. And I used to help him. And it's so funny because the van he drove actually had a hole in the floor. So you could see the road as we're driving. So just to give you an idea of kind of our upbringing a little bit here, you know, we never really had a whole lot of money, right? So for us, for me, right, is I kind of had that in the back of my mind that, you know, money's kind of, you got to work really hard to get it, right? Because dad worked really hard. He worked second shift and that type of thing. And I had a lot of those going on. So if you take a check-in and kind of just go back in time a little bit when you were a child or growing up, you'll start to see where your money story comes from. And the same thing applies with your weight, but usually it happens a little bit further on because as children, we often don't care about how we look and stuff like that. But as young adults, we do, like as teenagers, right? So your weight loss and your physical body and health story gets written a little bit later, but it's written the same way. Okay. It's literally how you think about yourself. You know, people are treating you bad or calling you names, that type of thing. You start to write your self-image story here for yourself. So does this idea make sense before I go any further?
Yes.
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 Beautiful. Is anything coming up for you guys? Like, do you guys have a good idea about like where your story came from a little bit? Just looking at it at this point here.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Yeah. And again, this is going to be a discovery process, you guys, sincerely. Truly, what's happening is we've already programmed our mind. So in other words, we already have a program around money and our weight, and it's already playing out. Like it's already been playing out our entire life pretty much. So now we need to just simply understand it and discover it for ourselves. Like, you know, do I think I'm poor? Do I think money's hard to make? Like, we're just discovering it. It's not to be judging or anything like that. It's literally simply just to, you know, discover where we're currently at. And once you discover this all the way, so one of the exercises I'm going to have you guys do this week, and highly suggest even while we're on the call together to start this, right? Write down what comes to mind. Write down like the idea you have about money and your weight, and write down like everything that comes to mind, because you're going to be discovering more and more as you keep going. Okay. And one of the other things we want to ask ourselves, and this is with money in particular, right? Is your money making process, does that feel good for you? Why or why not? Like, and you might have like a primary source of income, a secondary source of income, right? Do those feel good? And if they don't, why don't they feel good? Are we not making enough money? Is it just not working for me? Like, we want to really truly discover this as well. And at the back side of this, so for making more money, in fact, let me see, I think it's, we're going to get to that, but for making more money, it's very simple. It's actually, you raise your level of income, you lower your expenses, and that's pretty much it. At the foundation there, it's providing more value is really what translates to that. But in essence, it's just raising your income by providing more value or lowering your expenses. That's really how you make more money, okay? Same thing with weight loss. So it's eating less than you require and or burning more energy than you're taking in. So it's the same exact process, just kind of in two different ways, okay? So we want to discover, is our money-making process and our money-saving process, does it feel good? Why or why not? Am I not saving enough, right? And the same thing with health and your weight, right? So am I eating too much? Am I not exercising enough, right? How does it feel right now? And again, we're not judging ourselves. We just want to discover, okay? So the very first exercise is you guys want to write down what's coming to mind when we're asking ourselves these questions. Okay, what is our current story around each area? Okay. And where I'm bringing you guys is once you discover your story, it's time to write a new one. So what we do is we actually can say what it was, what it is, and what it's going to be. And this is where this gets really, really cool. All right. So again, there is zero judgment, by the way. Like, we really want to always come back down. We're all human. We all start off somewhere. And honestly, some of the richest people in the world started off super poor, right? And then they had to discover this for themselves and overcome it. So same thing with weight, right? Some of the people who lost the most weight had the most weight to lose, right? It's the same type of idea. So what we can do is we can do this for the past, present, and future. Okay, that's exactly what I want you guys to explore for yourself. Okay, so what was money for me? Was it hard to make, right? Was it a struggle for my parents, right? Like, what was my money story growing up and that type of thing? What is it right now? Is it still the same thing? And then now we get to say, all right, what will it be moving forward? Okay, same thing with your food and your weight. And you could do this for both of those because food has its own essence as well. Like, food in and of itself, we might think it's pleasure and that type of thing. We want to just say, all right, well, what has food been for me in the past? What is it for me right now? What will it be for me in the future? And same with like your weight or expenditure, like exercising, right? So basically, that's what we want to get to, is discovering this whole process. So I just want to do a quick check-in. How does this whole thing sound so far, guys?
Sounds
I like
good.
it.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. Excellent.
Absolutely the word of the day.
Yeah. Excellent, you guys. Any questions on anything so far?
Nope.
No.
Cool. So actually, before I even get into this, self-worth is the last piece that we're going to really be uncovering today. I want to kind of come back to you guys first, though. I want to be very real with you guys on my journey, because I think that will help you kind of understand what's possible and what, basically you can reflect back against it. So it first started for me with my health and with losing weight. So that was one of the first things I was looking to fix for myself. And it was mainly because of how I felt. I was like, literally, I had chronic allergies and I was suffering day in and day out. I felt like a zombie all the time, actually. And it was a terrible thing for like basically all throughout my 30s, late 20s. Like, I suffered very bad with that type of thing. I used to get sick all the time, sinus infections, all that stuff. But I eventually gained a lot of weight as well. And I weighed the most I've ever weighed about eight years ago at this point. And so as I discovered this and I started to make these changes for myself, what I realized is when I was eating and I was kind of letting myself go, if you will, I was purely eating food for pleasure and I didn't give a crap. It was basically like I had lots of other problems in my life, and food was the one that was solving, like it made me feel good, right? It was my pleasure actually. So I'd eat chocolate chip cookies and ice cream and Oreo cookies and you name it, and I would just eat it. I had a big sweet tooth, but I would also eat anything else. Like I would just, gorge in whatever meal I was eating. And so the idea was I wasn't looking at food as just an exchange of energy. It was a pleasure for me. Okay. And I'm sure you guys will relate to this to some
Oh, I
extent.
think that 100%, Tony, for sure, bro.
Yes, totally. Thank you, Rob. And so the idea here is once you discover this for yourself, you're like, okay, what am I doing here? Right? I need to figure out what's happening here. And if I keep going like this, it's just going to be a downward cycle, right? So the idea here is it's how it makes you feel. So there's the pain pleasure principle that we're going to be talking about here. We're going to be really dissecting it and leveraging it throughout these next 10 weeks. But truly what's happening is pain around one area we need to shift, and pleasure around one area we need to shift. And we're going to apply this for weight loss and for money. So again, these are going to apply in both areas, but we want to uncover, all right, what currently is pain right now for me around money and around weight loss, and what's pleasure, right? So is spending pleasure for money, right? And is making money a pain, right? Like that's kind of where I started as well. Same idea with weight loss though, right? Is food pleasure and is exercise pain, right? What we need to do is figure out how to actually manipulate the two so that food now is painful. The types of foods that are causing us, high calorie foods, high fat, high sugar, all that type of stuff, right? The foods that are not serving us, in other words, we need to create pain around that, right? Same thing with spending money. We need to create pain around there. So essentially what we need to start doing, guys, is raise the pain around the current pleasures, okay? And vice versa. Lower the pain, right, around the current pains, right? Make them more pleasurable. So if you're dreading exercising right now, which I did actually, so I used to be big into working out and stuff like that. But when I felt like garbage 8 years ago, I was in pain. Like working out was terrible. I would get injured and stuff. Like I couldn't recover. I had no energy. It was like very, very bad. So I had to just start off somewhere. And it started with weight training again, just very light and just very easy. So in essence, what we do is we start off where we are with what we have, even with the challenges we have, and you just take the next step. And it's the next step that feels good still, like that's not a pain to do. So one of the very first things we want to discover in each of these 4 areas, actually, because it's how I envision it's kind of like a quadrant of things happening. So for weight loss, right, it's literally just eating and consuming and then energy expenditure, like exercising. And for money, it's saving and making it and then spending. So in each of those quadrants, we want to be manipulating this process for ourselves. So the very first step to do there is to find the pleasure in the pains, right? And literally the actual pleasure that you'll be able to do. So it's not necessarily going for a marathon run, but maybe you could just go for a walk for 5 minutes. Like what would you be willing to do? Just go out in nature and just move around a little bit more than you normally do instead of sitting, right? That's a huge win actually. And you just slowly start to increase the pleasure of that, right? In the opposite. So does this whole thing make sense so far, guys?
Yeah, totally.
Excellent. Are you guys seeing how you might be able to apply this already?
Yeah, I mean, I think I am.
Okay. Cool. Because I can help you guys uncover it for yourself as well. But I just wanted to give you kind of my input so that you can, measure against it, basically reflect against it.
Mhm.
And so I'll quickly give you my money one as well, so that you could kind of see, okay, what's going on here for me, right? So you guys, my trend was we were spending way more than we were making. Okay. And actually what ended up happening is we, a lot shifted actually when I left my job. So I was in a career for 18 years and I made good money there, had great insurance, and all the needs were met, right? But I wasn't happy. I wasn't being fulfilled. And I knew there was something more inside of me that I could be giving the world. And so it wasn't until I changed my health where I got new energy and got more revitalized, where I started to understand, oh my gosh, like I've got lots more energy now. I'm in a job that I felt like I was in jail, right? Going there every day. I felt like I was a slave to my alarm clock and all that stuff. And I didn't like it. And so as I increased my energy physically, it allowed me to actually be able to take the risk and jump ship from my job, actually. So for me, what ended up happening is when I became a coach about 5 years ago, I was still working my full-time job actually 5 years ago. I actually left my job 4 years ago to pursue it full time. But at that time, I wasn't making a whole lot of money. So what happened was I had a plan to leave the job so I can focus on full time. But what ended up happening and the trend I fell into was I was spending more than I was making. And we get credit cards and this and that. And I'm investing into my coaching and all this stuff. Well, before you know it, 100 grand, you guys, gets racked up. 100 grand. Okay. So I don't normally share this, right? But you guys are my inner circle. So guess what? Right? There comes a time where you gotta change it. We gotta shift some things, right? So what happens is you sit down and I sat down and I'm like, okay, I'm sinking fast. I can't be continuing doing things the way I'm doing. So what I did is I sat down and I'm like, all right, I need to get a hold of my spending, get a hold of our, what's going on. We're living, we have all this stuff. We don't even need it. You know what I mean? And so living beyond our means and all this stuff. And so we sit down and discover this exact thing. All right. What is pleasure for me right now? Spending, right? Pleasurable. What's painful for me? It's actually making money. So for me in particular, guys, it was actually marketing and sales. It was brand new to me. Like I had no idea what the hell I was doing with it. And I had to learn all that stuff. It was a big pain in my life. So I wasn't able to market and sell to be able to provide value to people. And it was a very painful process for me. So I had to make it more fun. I had to make it more pleasurable. Because again, my one primary source of income was now gone, my old job. Now my main primary source of income is my business, right? So now I'm like, okay, well, I have to build this business because it's my only source of income, right? And so the idea is if I have a pain around selling myself, how in the hell is that going to serve me? Right? So the idea with that is I had to, and again, I want to kind of give you guys exactly where I was at, is I'm not a salesperson was one of the biggest things that kept me stuck for so long. One of the biggest thoughts in part of my mindset. I'm not a salesperson. Salespeople are slimy and, and, you try to avoid them, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. All these things are around selling and getting myself out there, right? And it all stems from your self-worth. So the idea is what we're shifting here It stems from your idea of yourself. So where I want to bring you guys today, and we're going to dissect this as we keep going, but it's this idea that whoever you want to become, you're already that person. And it's just underneath lots of layers of false thoughts or thoughts you previously thought or that matched your old self-image, but no longer will serve you for your new self-image. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, I was not a salesperson, right? In fact, I was the opposite, quite honestly. I was a shy IT guy. Like I'd just go fix your computer, say hi, and boom, done. You're up and running. I wouldn't even talk to people throughout the day. So like literally, I came from this shy IT person to now putting myself out in the world, selling myself, marketing myself, like, sharing way more about myself, becoming a salesperson, basically, becoming who I need to become in order to be a successful coach and a successful business owner. Well, what's business is selling, right? And there's ways to look at it where if selling is painful for you, what about sharing or solving? Can we present ourselves as we are sharing information and solving problems? That's exactly what I did in the beginning. And I actually still do that actually, because although selling is no longer like a pain point, selling, it doesn't have that negative connotation it did before for me. But now it's like, oh, well, I can't wait to provide value to people. I'm just sharing value and I'm solving problems. And that resonates deeply with me, right? So again, I want to check in, guys. Does this idea make sense? And can you see how it may or may not apply to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Mhm.
Awesome. Beautiful, guys. So truly what I want to highlight here is, Angie, around the idea of bills,
Mhm.
right? Money being associated with bills and around the house and repairing, right? If we can come up with a new idea around money where money is, allow it to feel better, allow it to be like something we can think about that feels amazing, right? And that's where I want to bring all of you guys is, how do we feel about money? Can we feel better about it? What's that perspective look like for us? Right. So instead of it being like associated with paying bills and it's like, oh, it sucks, it's a pain because we're losing it, right?
Mhm.
Money's always coming in though. Right? Money's just energy actually, and it's energy in the form of what we've created as far as value we provide. Right? So Ian, for you in particular,
Mhm.
your business is bringing in money and clients.
Yeah.
Right? And so no matter whether it's a new client or existing client, right? Money always will come in,
Mhm.
right? And no matter what you're doing. So even though you're paying bills, what we want to get to is be happy paying bills, right? So if we can, seriously, right? Because it's just an exchange. Everything goes back to that idea of exchanging energy.
Right.
So if I'm paying bills, I'm actually helping provide money and support for the people who run the electricity company who's providing that bill, right? The water company, our car loan or whatever, our home mortgage. Like we're providing money for them. And they're providing something for us, a service for us. So again, it's just an exchange of energy.
Mhm.
We can clean up our energy, right? We can literally start to attract and create more money where there's zero pain involved.
I like that. I like that concept, Tony, because I've never looked at it as, okay, I'm paying my bills, but it's really, I'm like contributing to the functioning of society, like my community, the people who work here. I've never looked at it like that. And it does, even just saying that does make it a little bit more like, oh, this is kind of a good thing. Like I don't feel like it's a noticeable difference kind of in how I look at it if I look at it that way. And I never have before. So that's really a good point.
Awesome. Awesome. This is where it starts. This is exactly how it starts. Right? The beautiful thing is we apply the same thing with food. Food is providing us life force energy. We want to bless it. We want to thank it every time we eat, actually. We want to thank the grocery stores or whoever's providing our food, right? Thank the animal, if you still eat animals, for its life force energy coming in for your energy vessel now, right? And literally paying for food is a double. It's a, hey, I'm providing money energy to the grocery stores who are providing me life force energy. Like, how cool is that? Right? The farmers or whatever, you know what I mean? And the food you've already consumed, it's blessed you. You have energy now in your body that you now can use for whatever you want, for exercising, playing, activities, and or just living. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a really cool concept that we're going to be really adopting. And this is at the foundation of it. Right? So any other thoughts on this, guys? And it's okay if not.
Yeah, no, but I'm just sitting here doing my own notes and working through my head. Well, that's nothing personal. Just working out my own shit. I always like to process.
Yes, Rob, you're the man. I love it. Yes. Excellent. Monique, a quick check-in with you. How is this? Does this make sense, these ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. I like what your sister was saying. I like that idea about giving back. When you're paying bills, you're giving back to the community that you're in and stuff. Because same, I never really looked at it that way. Like when I get money, I say thank you, but I've never had enjoyment paying a bill or looked at it that way. I think that's a really cool perspective.
Yeah, totally. This changes the game for you, actually, when it comes with money, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, because the reality is, guys, there's a limitless source for everybody. Literally, the amount of value you're willing to provide is your limit. That's it. And there's no piece of the pie. There's no limited amount of money anyone can make, actually. That's just another false concept that we may or may not have. And so if you can understand that, all right, money is just money. It's gonna come in, right? From one source or another. And again, what we're trying to figure out is, what is our primary source right now? What could be a secondary source maybe, or how could we make the primary source better? Like, we're gonna baby step with where we're currently at, quite honestly. Because truly, everything takes the path of least resistance. So if you're already in a job, let's say, or you're on a business, actually, you guys basically are business entrepreneurial people, actually. So you're in a business, that's your primary source of income right now. So the idea is, all right, well, what's my path of least resistance is the business, right? It's basically, all right, I got to ramp this business up. How can I get out there better? How can I serve more effectively? How can I provide more value to people? How can I, it's basically, how can I provide more value to the marketplace of the people I serve, basically, right? And the more value you provide, the more reward you can get for that, right? And again, it will come down to your self-worth, which we're going to talk about last here. But any other comments or questions before we move further into that?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Beautiful. All right, let me reshare my screen. All right, cool. So the last piece here, guys. All right. So again, this is going to kind of be homework for us for this week, and it doesn't have to be hard. By the way, just take 5 minutes just to see where you're at currently. What our story looks like, what it used to look like, and what we want it to be. Actually, we need to know where we're going to go, basically, with these things. Okay. Oh yeah, let me click here. Okay. So the last piece here has to do with our self-worth and our self-identity. Okay. Truly, your money will never be more, your weight will never be less than what you think you are worth. That's really what it comes down to. So when 8 years ago, I'm miserable at my job. I hated where I was at. I was in a rut. I felt like I was in jail. I literally felt like crap every day. My allergies were from seasonal to chronic. So they were all the time. I was taking many medications for them every day, Nasacort, Zyrtec, all sorts of allergy medicines every single day just to get me through. And then if I got sick, it was 10 times worse because I was sick for like over a week. I'd miss time from work. It was terrible. The kids would be a pain in the butt, all this stuff, right? So my self-worth and self-identity was really crappy in that moment in time. And the idea was it reflected. And so whatever your self-worth is right now, we're going to start to challenge it like never before in your self-identity, okay? And these are the things I want to help you guys discover. What is creating your self-worth right now? In both areas, by the way. We're gonna roll them all in together, okay? So for money and for weight. What is your self-worth? There's 5 of these, generally speaking, that determine it, okay? Your physical appearance and or ability, right? The number on the scale, your clothing size, your clothes as well, like how you look, your strength, the attention you get from others, right? That's one measurement. Okay? Your net worth, right? Your physical net worth, like the amount of money you have, your income, your cash flow, your material possessions, your financial assets, right? I always like to refer back to ideas of like, and although I hate bringing religion into things, but the idea of Jesus, of having like nothing and being okay with that, that's where we want to get our self-worth to, is to literally eliminate all of these perceptions that we have about ourselves and get to the idea where I just am worthy just for being alive. Okay, so I'm going to kind of skip you guys ahead of this idea, but literally you are. You guys are, by the way, you 3 especially are tremendously priceless, okay? You have infinite self-worth and value. And your perspective and your outlook and your loving, caring nature is priceless.
Well, thank you, Tony.
Yes, right? Totally. You guys, right? So all of these are a facade.
And like what?
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's so funny though, right? Because at one point, my self-worth was determined by my hair. Not kidding, guys. Like I was so hung up about being bald at one point in my life, right? Now it's like, okay, I don't care anymore. Like it's awesome. It's easy, you know. But at one point, it like literally it was detrimental. I had no confidence. I would talk to a girl and have no confidence because of the way I looked. I thought I looked. And so again, it's just our own perception. Our self-worth is our own perception. So what we're looking to do here, guys, is truly uncover what is determining my current self-worth and why, right? What am I telling myself here, right? Who you know, your social circle, right? Is that a huge deal to you, right? What are you doing as far as your work and career? Is that a big deal to you as well? And by the way, there's no good or bad here. It's just if we are a slave or a victim to any one of these, we need to step into our power around them. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because basically, right, like if one of these sticks out more than another, in other words, you want to challenge the hell out of it and be like, does that really determine my self-worth? No, of course not. Right? Literally any one of these you could do that for, right? What you achieve, your intellectual knowledge, right? Literally, you could be a complete moron, which none of you are, by the way, right? But you could be a complete moron and have the most self-worth ever. Like they're never one for one, right? But you could be the smartest genius, right? And it's the same thing. So the idea is, where are we a victim right now for ourselves? Okay. And again, like I'm going to literally share with you guys my thoughts of me. I'm going to be very, very open, and I want to be mindful of our time here. So literally my hair being bald was one. I'm short. I'm 5'7". Okay. I'm small, relatively speaking, compared to a lot of other people. That was a hang up of mine at one point. My toe. Angie knows this. I have a very big toe. All right, and as I've learned, it's the German side of us, I guess, from mom. It's so funny because I looked this up a long time ago, but that hung me up. I didn't want to go swimming because I didn't want people to see my feet. Like, how irrational is this, right? And literally, so I'll tell you again, with my weight, I would suck in my gut because I didn't want people to see that I had a gut. And I did that for years, actually. And so what did that do? It impeded my breathing. Like, I literally impacted my breath for years because I was worried about what people would think of me if I was a little bit overweight. So I know that some elements will resonate with you guys, but where is it showing up for you is the question, right? And truly, one of these exercises I'm going to have you guys do is we're going to surrender our old self-image and just show ourselves an unbelievable amount of self-love. And it's literally, you guys, it may or may not be new to you, but the idea is you're going to close your eyes. You're going to take several box breaths, very deep, complete breaths. Okay. And every breath in, you're going to imagine there's this golden orb of unconditional love coming into your body. Okay. And it's literally just engulfing every cell of your body with love. Okay. And what happens is as you breathe it in, after a few deep breaths, I want you guys to become the observer. And it's almost like you're going to come up out of your body and look down at yourself and come back to yourself and give yourself a huge hug. And on every breath after that, you are giving yourself that love. It's unconditional. So literally, for me, I love my head. I don't have hair, but I love it. Okay. I don't have, I'm not that big. I love my body. My big toe is awesome. Right. This is just for me, guys. Right. But whatever it is for you, we're going to love that part of us like we never have before. Okay. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. This is kind of, the next level idea, but I'm telling you, it will help set you free ultimately. And it only takes a couple minutes. It's a very quick exercise, actually. You could do this every single day. Man, it changes the game. It really does. So the last piece here, okay, is we're working on the self-worth and self-image. Okay, we're discovering our old money story and our current money story and our old health story and current food story and that type of thing. But what we really want to look at is literally what are my current trends? And we call these energy trends or energy cycles. I shared with you mine before. Got into $100,000 in debt because I was overspending and not saving enough. Okay. And it was over the course of a couple of years that happened. And so it happens quick, but you can fix it quick as well. That's what we're going to be doing over the next 10 weeks. Okay. So literally, how am I saving and spending money right now? Okay. How am I consuming and expending food and energy? All right. And what we're going to uncover is we're going to start to choose a new energy trend for ourselves moving forward. Okay. And yeah, I meant to put this sooner, but the idea is the same idea that I just shared is really simple. You can raise your income and save more or lower your expenses. super simple for making money. Same thing with eating less calories or expending more energy. Very simple for both of them. But what keeps it not simple is our thoughts about it and our mindset and how we feel about it. So that's what we're going to be uncovering more so than anything else. And when you uncover it and you feel amazing around both of these, that's when they come in like never before. Okay. So you guys, I'm going to be sending you guys, let me stop my share. I'm going to be sending you guys basically the action items from this week. But hopefully you guys have already started to think about this for yourself and wrote maybe a little bit down around your current situation, right? Or past situation, and then where you want to go with this. And so I want to check in really quick. Would you guys want to share anything about our session today and any outlook it helped you kind of see or ways you can use it moving forward here?
Yeah, I like the I wrote it down. Hold on. When we were talking about like what's the story behind like all that stuff, because I never thought about that. I always thought about what my new story could be about certain things, but I never thought about how my current story was affecting what my new story was going to be. If that makes sense.
It does. It does. Thank you so much. Perfect. Yep. And really quick, actually, we're gonna be actually healing our old stories as well.
Good.
Yes. As we keep going. This week starts off with self-love, and we got to instantly start raising your self-worth. Like that's needs to happen right off the bat. But as we keep going, like literally next week, we're going to explore actually sending love to our parents and to the people that contributed to our old story. Even like the bullies that bullied us, who called us names because of not having enough hair or whatever. All that stuff plays a big role, actually. So just so you know, that's what we're going to get into as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. How about anything else, guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, what is determining my self-worth? I definitely know what it is. I have some perceptions about myself as a mom and as a wife, and I think that those are the things that are driving my self-worth.
Yeah.
And so I need to feel differently about that. I think that's where I have to focus a lot of my energy. I know it kind of seems, you know, on a tangent from the whole money and you know, weight loss story, but I think it's all related.
100%.
So that's where I'm going to try to work on feeling better about myself.
Man, yes.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. It is. It's 100% related to money and weight. Like it's, again, we're a very complex being with lots of energy flowing through us in lots of ways. And I talk about this before, but it's the idea of our life is like a table. So different areas of our life are like the legs. If a couple of those areas are the legs are fallen, the table falls, right? If they're broken. So as a parent, as a wife, or as a mom, right? If those are not feeling good right now, boom, it can impact your money and your weight and everything else, actually.
Yeah.
So 100%, Andrew, we're going to be uncovering lots of cool stuff here. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Awesome. Rob, anything on your end, brother?
Shit, I don't know. I had like notes all over the place, but basically I just kind of said it was more just being aware of how does it serve you in each thing, right? And instead of associating as pain and pleasure, I like to have it more like as pain being unknown and pleasure being known, because it's kind of like that easier route for your brain to go with that path of least resistance, because you know it, whereas you're not going to go to the expanse of the unknown. So I don't know. And then just doing the disassociation flip, because you have to kind of like dissect the pain or unknown for what it is, kind of who taught you it, where it came from, what's been its motivation in your life. It kind of makes you like get nurtured and keeping it the process rolling. And then like to flip that with the positive truth through gratitude to reassociate it. I don't know.
Awesome,
That's my scramble right now, but yeah.
I love that, man. Perfect.
If that made sense, but yeah.
It does. It does. Because what's unknown right now, right? It could be painful. What's known is right. So it's the same idea, right? So that's perfect, Rob. I love that. And again, guys, as we keep going, we're going to uncover lots more stuff that are pain, pleasure related. And we're going to start to really, really change the game here. Okay. But know that you guys are all limitless. And if you currently don't have the amount of money you want, or the weight that you want, or even any area of life that you want, you can have it and you can be it and you can do it this year. And hopefully what we uncover over the next 10 weeks here will help you guys get the mindset and get into that for yourself. That will help you actually see it all the way through. Okay.
Yeah, another thing that stood out for me, Tony, is it's just amazing how unaware sometimes you realize the autopilot patterns are actually running along through your life. Because like you just done things so long simply for such a basic process that you're not even aware of what you do until you sit down and kind of dissect it like this and break it down to those different categories and how you're doing it and what it's affecting you more. Again, like I said, where it came from, where you learn that pattern and then you can just remove it. Be aware.
Exactly, brother. Yes, that's literally all it is, right? We are like a computer, the ultimate computer, and it's already been programmed. So we just are looking at the program and be like, okay, well, who the hell programmed this crap? You know what I mean? Like, get that out of there. We need to rewrite our program. Right. And we're going to start to do that like never before, you guys. Okay. So I'm actually going to be sending you guys the action items coming out of this. I'll send them each individually to you. Okay. And it's literally kind of what we talked about with discovering your current self-worth, your current money and health story. And then we're gonna start to write a new story for ourselves and start to create a new energy trend. And quite honestly, in the background is we're gonna start to reprogram our mind with better serving thoughts, better feelings. Literally, we're gonna solve the pain pleasure principle for ourselves so that we actually feel better. I didn't tell you guys this really quick. I had to feel good about being 100 grand in debt before I could fix it. So that's what we're doing actually. We got to feel good about where we are currently at because it's okay. All right. So we're going to get into that next session. But you guys, amazing time together. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Tone.
Yeah, thanks all of you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. And if you guys ever have any questions on anything, please just send them my way. You each know how to get in touch with me. But just let me know before our next session, right? We'll just let me know if you get any hangups or anything. Okay.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, my pleasure. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.
All right. You too.
You too, buddy.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.